Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today we are doing an updated dental school Q&A. So it has been a while since I have posted any sort of dental school content. I told you guys I'd keep doing dental school vlogs. I actually had two that I filmed and that I just literally could not get myself to edit them. So I apologize for slacking. Make sure to comment down below if you would like me to bring back the vlogs, because if you want them, I will do my best. Anyways, yesterday I officially finished my third year of dental school. I am 9 semesters in with 2 semesters left. So I am now a 4th year, which is our final year. Kind of felt like I was already a 4th year this past summer because the previous 4th years left in May. So we were like the oldest students on campus this summer. So it just kind of already felt like we were 4th years. But now officially I am. Just a little recap of this past semester. We had about like 4 or 5 classes and they all were only like 1 hour per week. Pretty low credit classes. A lot of them were like unnecessarily hard for being like 1 credit, and some of the tests I didn't feel like were like super fair. But we made it through. I still did well, and at least it was less study intense than previous semesters. I had already finished my board exams in March of this year. This summer, I really got to relax. I got back into reading. I read like 8 books. I was doing about a book a week. I didn't read anything this past week because we had finals. And now I'm on break until September. And then in September, I'm going to be focused on taking my licensing exam. We have the endo and prost portion of the licensing exam in September. And I also need to sign up for the written portion of the licensing. I don't know why we had to take a written board exam and then a written portion of the licensing exam. I already studied for that and I'm a little upset that I'm gonna have to like restudy, even though it's like relevant stuff that I'm gonna have to use in my daily life. But anyways, I had a nice summer kind of doing things I wanted to do. I got scuba dive certified. I bought some rollerblades. We did some fun things, and I wasn't coming home studying all the time. I also got a lot of my requirements done. I delivered my full denture, which went really well. It was an immediate denture. It just really went great. I finished all of my crown requirements in 1 summer. The first crown I did, I literally almost cried during the procedure because it really was just not going well. And then by the last crown, I was prepping it in like 30 minutes and it looked beautiful. And so we've made improvements. Anyways, that's a little background. Just thought we would do a Q&A and kind of keep you guys in the loop, things that you've been wondering about in general. So let's start answering. First question, what has been your favorite year of dental school so far? And in a way, I really loved first year because I was just with my friends like all the time. We were all in the same classes. We were all in sim lab together. And I just felt like the community was so strong. But first year was like kind of miserable in terms of how much we were studying. So definitely this past semester I feel like has been the best. I still see all my friends who are at least like in my like team. We like are separated into like 3 groups of students throughout clinic. So I'd say most of my friends are in my team and we always get to like talk to each other in between patients and hang out. And it's just nice finally seeing patients every single day and really not worrying about classes so much, because let me tell you, after 7 years of higher education, about to go to 8, I am tired of studying. So yeah, I think dental school kind of gets better every year, but hopefully it'll be even better 4th year. Is your dental school like a residential thing? Do you get paid for it, or is it strictly schooling? You do not get paid. Even though 4th year, I'm seeing patients full time, like making money for the school essentially, we still do pay the same amount of tuition that we paid first year when we were in classes all the time. So yeah, dental school is not cheap. I think like the average amount of debt people graduate with is like $250,000, and that might be even on like the light side. I did choose a school that has in-state tuition, so it is slightly reduced. And I also chose my school because it's also affordable to live here, so I'm not spending a ton on like rent, gas, food, all that. I didn't want a lot of debt. I still have a lot of debt, but I don't have as much as I could have if I chose other schools. One of the big questions I got is, are you doing a residency? And I am not. So when I first entered dental school, I thought like maybe I would do like a GPR, AEGD. Those are like 1-year residencies to still be a general dentist. But to be honest, I just don't really think I can do more school right now. I don't want to say I'm like burnt out already, because when it comes to actually like doing the dentistry, I don't really feel burnt out, but I feel like if I did any more school, then I might be running that risk, and I'm just too young. I'm too young to be burnt out. So I'd like to just move on, practice, and then take some CE courses that are more tailored to what I want to learn more about. So yeah, not doing a residency. Also, none of the specialties interest me enough to want to stick with that for the rest of my life. I do like pediatrics, but I also really love working with my adult patients. So I wouldn't want to commit to pediatrics and not be able to treat adult patients anymore. Do not like oral surgery, and ortho is like kind of boring to me as well. Perio is cool, and when it comes to doing oral surgery things, I definitely prefer soft tissue to like tooth extraction. So I could see myself doing perio, but I think I would miss doing just like restorative and like prosthetic dentistry. So no, not specializing. Will you stay in Vegas after graduation? And the answer to that is no. I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to staying here, but my boyfriend is here with me and we don't have any family here and he doesn't have a lot of people that he knows here and he came here for me. So we are going to move somewhere closer to family. Right now we're planning to move to Arizona, like Scottsdale, Phoenix area. That's where he has a lot of family. So that's where we're planning to go. If you know anyone looking to hire an associate in that area, let me know. Are you planning to open your own practice eventually? I'm honestly not sure. I feel like initially I was like, no, I really don't want that. I don't want to worry about the business and all that stuff, but I feel like that might change after I practice. It also depends like how my experience is as an associate dentist. If I feel like my creativity and options as an associate are kind of being stifled by the practice owner, maybe I could see myself owning a practice at some point just so I could have full control over what I'm doing. But as of right now, it's definitely not anything in the near future. Something down the road if it just seems like a good option at that point. Why do you use OneNote instead of GoodNotes, Notability, etc.? I started using OneNote honestly because it synced with my school computer, which is like Windows computer. It's a Dell. It's really not a nice computer. As well as my iPad, so my notes kind of pop up on both of them. I don't think Notability does that, but I'm honestly not really sure. And Notability, I think you can only write on top of the PowerPoint slides, and I like to write like on the side in the margin, and I just feel like OneNote is a lot more like expandable. And I don't know, I honestly have never tried those, but I don't have any problems with OneNote, so that's why I use it. And it's also free, which is nice. Were your molar root canals for an elective or did all students have to do them? Ours was an elective actually, except there were only like probably like 5 people who did not do the molar elective. I think it's like kind of silly not to do it because it was like a 3-day class. I had my anterior root canals done before most of my class, so I was able to take a special like early molar root canal class, which was longer than like the 3-day, like we call it root camp course. So I was able to start doing molar root canals a little bit earlier than other people. But yeah, it was an elective, and especially at my school, we don't have an endodontic residency. So I already know people in my class who have done like 10, maybe 15 molar root canals, and they've only been doing them for 1 summer. So if you want to do endo, UNLV is really a great school for that. You get a lot of access to endo. I've done 5 root canals at this point, only 1 molar, but I do have some more coming up. I just had so many other requirements I was getting done this summer that I didn't really have time to do a lot of endo. But as I finish with more of my requirements, I definitely want to do more because I'm not feeling super confident with molars right now, and I would like to feel more confident by the time I graduate. How often do you attend classes? Course load per semester. I think first year we started with like 40 credits. We were in class like all the time. It was wild. And this semester, like I said, I think I had like 4 or 5 1-credit classes. And then next semester I have 2 2-credit classes. So it gets lower and lower. I'm pretty sure in the spring we only have 1 class. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be done with classes. If you had to do it over again, would you still choose dental school? I will say when I applied to dental school and got to dental school, I really had no idea what I was getting into, but I feel like everything I learn about dental school, the more procedures I do, I just am really enjoying it a lot and love it even more than I ever imagined. So I am definitely glad I chose dental school over any other career. Initially, I had thought that maybe I wanted to go to medical school. I never like applied to medical school or anything. I changed from the pre-med to pre-dental path in like sophomore year of college. But yes, I'm definitely glad I chose. I just feel like it's such a great fit for me and I'm just loving it. What has been your biggest personal achievement in dental school? I feel like I've really thrived in dental school. I get a lot of praise from faculty. I'm doing well academically. It's just been honestly a great boost for the confidence. In college, I didn't really know a lot of professors like super personally, so I feel like you're kind of lost in like not getting a lot of feedback, but in dental school, you get to know them so closely that I've just had really close relationships with faculty and just really reinforced that like the work I'm doing is really good and that they're proud of me, they're confident in my abilities. But I think one of my biggest personal achievements has been with patients. Twice this semester, I had some really great moments with patients where they really felt like I had changed their lives for the better and they really appreciated everything I was doing, and they, you know, expressed that to me with like tears in their eyes. And like sometimes people are like, okay, you know, you're just a dentist, or it's just going to the dentist. Is it really making that big of a difference? And I really do feel like I have made a huge impact in these people's lives, and it just feels really good and reinforces that I know I'm doing the right thing, not only clinically, but also like interpersonally with my patients. How long do you think think it will take you to pay off student loans. So I did intentionally choose a public school, not a private school, because that would have costed a lot more. So I saved some money having in-state tuition, living in a more affordable place, and I also have YouTube and social media. So I was fortunate that I didn't have to take out quite as many loans as some people. So if I wanted to pay off my loans quickly, I think I could, but interest is like still on pause right now, and I want to make sure that I'm paying off my loans in a way that makes like the most financial sense. So like if it would be better to like invest my money rather than pay off all my loans in like a lump sum, I'd want to do that. So, and personally, I don't have all the answers to that. So after graduation, I plan on speaking to some sort of, you know, financial consultant or something, student loan consultant, someone that can help me figure out what the best way to go about that is, because you really want to make educated decisions with your money, especially when it comes to loans and student loans. How often do you get overwhelmed and how do you manage it? There's like a couple situations that I get overwhelmed. One is definitely during like heavy exam periods, like if there are a lot of exams. Like this past Thursday, we had an exam at 8 a.m. and I'm pretty sure like almost no one in my class had studied for our 1 p.m. exam until after that 8 a.m. exam. So that was definitely stressful and I was feeling overwhelmed, but I feel like I'm so used to that at this point that as soon as the exams are over, I can start to unwind, but I do kind of stay in that stressed state until the exams are over, because in a way I feel like the stress kind of like keeps me going. And then sometimes I get stressed when I have like a lot of patient work that week, but usually as soon as I get things started, like if I'm like, okay, I have like this really complex case, I'm really stressed about it, I don't know what I'm doing kind of thing, I feel like as soon as I start it, I often feel better about it. And then, I don't know, just work through things as they go. Okay, next question. Just started D1 year. What loupes/light do you use? Okay, I have battled with my loupes for so long. I have the Q Optics, I think 4 magnification prismatics. Listen, I want to love these loupes. I want to love them. They're super lightweight, like delicate looking. I feel like I could still see people when I look straight forward, but then, you know, look through my loupes when they're down, so I don't have to like take off my loupes to talk to people. And the visibility is great and everything. And I have classmates who like totally love them and it works for them, but I literally even had my loupes remade and they still just like don't really work for me. They like go out of focus easily, and I feel like when I like press on the sides, they like are more in focus, and they slide down my nose a lot. So I had to put the little like tie strap in the back, but when I put the tie strap in the back, then it literally like bruises my nose. So I have reduced nose bruising than I did before because I switched nose pieces, but I still get like a red mark on my nose that lasts for the rest of the day. And I don't see anyone else walking around with red marks on their nose. So this fall, since I'm still a student and you get a student rate for loupes, I'm gonna buy some new loupes. I think I'm going to buy the Univet loupes. I have a friend who really likes those. I tried them on, and even though they're like a heavier loupe, the way that they're balanced on your face doesn't put as much pressure on your nose. And I literally think my nose is like slightly changed shape since dental school. Like I think my nose bridge bump up here is more pronounced now. I used to be very self-conscious about my nose and I didn't really need it getting bigger. So I don't really have problems with my nose, but you know what I'm saying. So I have a hard time recommending those. I also definitely do not recommend the Lumident wireless light, because mine literally turns off just randomly throughout the procedure. Like it'll start being on, just turns off. I try to turn it on again and then it like flickers and it doesn't even turn on. It's like the worst light. I had the Lumident like one that like attaches to your hip. That one's a lot brighter and a lot better, but the cord is so long. So unfortunately, I don't have any good recommendations for loupes or lights at the moment. I think I need some new ones. Is there a procedure that you really don't like to do? Teeth extractions. Guys, especially surgical extractions, I hate making patients uncomfortable. We don't do like sedation for extractions, so people have to be awake while they're doing extractions. And I had a surgical extraction the other day and the patient just had a lot of complications. I actually wasn't even doing the extraction, I was just assisting. Still, like, you don't have those serious complications as often when you're doing a crown, a root canal, a restoration. Obviously you have a little sensitivity here and there, but nothing is the same as oral surgery. And honestly, for that reason, I really just don't like super complex extractions. I definitely want to get better at them by the time I graduate. But yeah, I like some surgical procedures, mostly when they involve like soft tissue or like alveoloplasty, something like that. But when it comes to actual like tooth extraction, unless it's periodontally involved, I don't really like doing it. Someone asked, what's going to be your graduation trip or celebration? So my family's definitely coming out for graduation, but we don't have a trip planned yet. I definitely want to go somewhere though, because you do kind of have some time after graduation before you get your license and can actually start practicing. So there's a good period of time in there to travel, and Ian and I love to travel. We went to Europe earlier this year, so maybe not Europe, but I would love to go back to Asia at some point. So somewhere fun for sure. Is the clinical experience you get from dental school enough to prepare you for working as a DDS? So 4 years doesn't seem that long, but at least at my dental school, we start doing clinical procedures in our second year, and I know some don't start until third year, so you get a little extra time being more comfortable with working with patients. And I still have like 9 to 10 months left of dental school. I already feel like I have learned so much in this past semester, finally doing more complex procedures, that I really do feel like I'm getting a great clinical experience and that I will feel clinically competent by the time I graduate. Honestly, I feel like it's rare for me now to have a day where like I really need to ask someone for help. And that's for things like molar root canals or like super complex surgical extractions, or maybe like I'm doing like my first partial dentures in the fall and like I definitely will need help with those. But I feel like things that I've been doing a lot more of, like definitely restorations and even crowns at this point, I feel like I'm getting pretty good at problem solving on my own and not needing to call over faculty for help. Okay, last question. What is something you wish you knew before starting dental school? And that's so hard because I didn't know really much of anything before starting dental school, but I feel like I wish I knew like how big of an advantage previous dental assistants or dental hygienists had going into dental school, because they've done like half of these like things that we have to do all the time, like making temporary crowns, making custom trays, making like suck downs, retainers, things like that, pouring models and all that stuff that like I felt like I struggled a lot with my first year. And even just like getting used to being in a patient's mouth. Like the first time you actually are getting into a patient's mouth and you're like, this is like slippery and weird and like it just feels very strange, and like knowing that you have to like battle the tongue and things like that, I was 100% new to me. And I will say it didn't take me like that long to get used to it, but the people in my class who were previous dental assistants, they just jumped in so much faster, and I feel like their confidence was so much higher way before people like me who had literally no dental experience other than shadowing. Okay guys, that is it for the video. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments down below and I'll try to answer as many as I can. And again, let me know if you want me to bring the vlogs back. I've been doing little mini vlogs here and there on my Instagram, but I can't really show like a lot in clinic, so it's hard. And sometimes I just enjoy, you know, not vlogging all the time. I don't know how people are vloggers, because I like to have my time that I film and my time that I live my life, you know? Anyways, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!